Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your 7-card draw. What do I need read for this full moon in October, waning to the new moon in November? I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle production since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. Link in the description box, now available on Kindle. The Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal. Hey, my sea goats, hope you are all well. But it is time for the shadow work readings. If you're new to the channel, a 7-card draw is just 1 card from 7 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about a specific timeline, in this case a waning moon from full moon to new moon. Boop, 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 boop. Shrinking, releasing, letting go, shadow work, alchemy, forgiveness, all that stuff. Surrender, Dorothy, if you get my meaning there. And let's look at that timeline. We are looking at the full moon in Aries, and I put it in air quote because it actually goes void, of course, at the same time that it goes full on Wednesday, October 20th, 10:57 a.m. Eastern Time. So work your waxing, work your waxing moon. Before that, I'm actually going to do, I'm doing this the day before on Tuesday, the 19th, so I'm going to be doing mine tonight. That being said, then we look at the waning moon, like I said, the releasing, the letting go, the new moon in Scorpio on Thursday, the 4th of November, 5:15 p.m. So let's get you some clues, tips, and hints about what's going on here, about this situation. It is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. You hear that 10,000 times on YouTube. But also do check your other signs to get more information about the timeline we are about to look at. But all of us are living multiple lines of energy, timelines in a waxing and a waning thing. So it might be about a different scenario you might need to do some shadow work on. So all the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box if you would like to look into them further, because I always give credit where credit is due to the best of my ability, as well as if you would like to book me for a reading. There's a video down there that I made called Booking a Reading with Mal, which people are sending around the world apparently because it explains exactly what goes on before, during, and after for myself and usually my clients, and how to book me. So enough. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can for the waning moon stuff, which is really important. As one of us heals through the quantum entanglement of unity consciousness, we all heal. So we're all doing our part, and nobody is as slow and steady wins the race and gets the job done quite like my beloved Capricorn. I've said it before, I will say it again. I would marry a Capricorn, Virgo, that I am. Shall we, my beloveds? Please take a nice deep breath. Let's do this. As I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of the General Assembly of Ascended Masters, the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra, and above, as well as the spirit animals and totems and the pantheon of all pantheons for the Capricorn collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the 8th chakra archetype? Using the Caroline Mace archetype cards to show them what the shadow work is about. That 8th chakra hovering over their head as they alchemize that from lead to gold. It's going to change every chakra underneath it. Their electromagnetic patterning, what they attract, what they repel. This waning moon. So what is that dominant archetype for the Capricorns this full to new? Ooh. Now don't freak out. Oh, this is in the title. So if you're watching this, you're brave, because a lot of people don't understand how powerful the slave archetype actually is. The slave archetype is, I believe, a wild card family archetype. So those are always a little wiggly, a little wibbly wobbly in the sense of definition. The shadow is where the shadow work is indicated. The light is what you are shooting for. Lead to gold, toxic to healthy, pain to peace, fear to love. You do you. The shadow attribute, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Now, we have to give our power to external authorities like traffic lights, the rules of the road, right? That's not a hemorrhage of power. That's playing the game. So what we're really looking at is here, out of fear of making your own choices. Now, trust me, I've been a reader since I've been reading cards since I'm 12, but I've been a professional reader for the majority of my life at this point, 53 that I am. Yes, I know I don't look at things. Secrets, wait for that book to come out. So I have worked with people who have the slave archetype for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, but I've seen people slaves to a corporation, right? A slave to a paycheck. Now, we all have to pay our bills, but when Carolyn Mace, I'll never forget this, forget which lecture she said it in, but she said, misery is a form of intuition. It's like, ooh. Right? So they're miserable, they're horrible, but I would love to change my career, but I can't. It's like, I understand there are limitations for everybody, particularly Capricorns. It can be very hardworking that way. But just look at, where are you afraid of making your own choices in the shadow? Because the light attribute, I'll put it in context once I read it. Surrendering your power of choice, throat chakra, to the divine with complete trust. This is Moses, right? Literally a slave who, that trek though, 40-year trek to get across the desert, right? But surrendering your will to the divine. So though this is a wild card family, this is how the slave, quote unquote, I mean, we're not talking literal slavery here, we're talking symbolic, archetypal slavery, can become master. Right? To be a slave to God, if you will. It's a little, the gods don't need slaves. They need teachers. Right? So, it's not a bad thing. Everybody hemorrhages their power to an external force or form. This is not the addict archetype, which is another card in here, but obviously that's another form of self-imposed slavery, medicating our pain using external stuff, people, places, and things. I think you kind of get that. So let's see what this is about, right? Because that slave archetype in its light is a master, really, because they are voluntarily of their own free will saying, use me, I don't know, show me, I have no idea. So this relationship over this relationship. Let's keep going. Daughters of the Moon Tarot, we'll look at the next 4 chakras down. The crown, third eye, throat chakra, which is indicated here in the slave archetype, and the heart chakra. Breathe. Are you a slave to the rhythm? Little Grace Jones vibe just popped in there as I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Capricorn and the powers of the North. Please, one card in clarity for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing the slave archetype, doing the shadow work, this full to new October, November. All right, now this card looks like the 2 of Swords, but it's not. It's the 4 of Blades. Different artwork here, but I know it looks like it with the blindfold and the water in the background. But if you look, 2 swords crossed underneath the very hard stone bench there, but yet still blindfolded. The key word on this is deception. Now, this is very third eye, right? And you might be struggling with this, but it also says the possibility that you are not seeing this clearly, that there is a deception. Now, if this is work, career, vocation related, check your work, career, vocation reads. I just did them a week or so ago. This is about really understanding that I'm not seeing this clearly. How can I make loving, wise, powerful decisions if I don't have all the information? And it is the 4 of Swords, so I would recommend introspection. Heart, throat, third eye, crown is your internal world anyway. It's the world behind your eyes. Nobody knows what's going on in there. Even the best empath can't really tell what's going on inside of you. We may be master empaths, but that doesn't mean we're allowed to know things that are really supposed to be kept confidential within that person. So some meditation, some rest. Certainly when we're overburdened, when we're overwhelmed, when our nervous systems get inflamed, with stress, etc., the third eye gets cloudy, and that's okay. It happens to everybody. So let's go with that Four of Swords usual interpretation of rest, right? Can't, or is it that because I can't rest, I can't rest, I can't rest, I can't rest, an inability to make some choices here because of external forces. Now, I can relate to that to an extent, considering what's still going on planet Earth, and I don't talk about it on YouTube because it's so controversial. Wear a mask. It's just controversial, just saying those three words. And yeah, there are things I will not do still, even though I've got my right there, I'm good. Where I live on Long Island, it's a little sketchy. So I really follow my gut, but I wouldn't say that that's hemorrhaging my power to something. It's like, okay, is this agoraphobia? Right? Am I literally afraid to go to the marketplace? Or is this really my intuition? And if I'm tired and exhausted, I can't tell. So rest. Lower three chakras. From the outside looking in at you, from inside you looking out at some aspect of the third dimension, lower three chakras is about relationships. Root chakra, tribal relationships, groups, organizations, your nationality, your genetic DNA, not just your physical family. Second chakra, one-on-one relationships, like an umbilical cord. With other people, but also other things like money, addictions, right? So that could be in here. But the solar plexus is your relationship to yourself, your personal power, your honor code, your survival intuition. Very, very powerful stuff. Let's ask. Breathe. Okay, as I call upon, this doesn't feel bad, I call upon my gods of Earth, the sign of Capricorn, and the powers of the North. Please, one card in clarity for the Capricorn Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this reading. Please, what's going on in the lower three chakras here for the Capricorn? Alchemizing the slave in the 8th chakra with the Four of Blades, deception, but can also be rest, that they might not just be seeing things so very clearly. What's going on in the lower three chakras, outside looking in, inside looking out, usually both of those things, this full to new. Good. I do think this is you. 9 of Pentacles. Now, 9 of Pentacles, we're used to seeing it usually as a woman in a garden, at least Rider-Waite deck, right, with a falcon on her arm, a bird of prey, but hooded. You really do have everything that you need to get through this. You have more power and perhaps more wisdom than you realize. This says to me that if you're really feeling like a slave to something, it could be another person. This is a card of independence. It's not a 10, right? You've got your 9 pentacles. It would be lovely to have that 10th pentacle come in, but like the intuitive vibe I'm getting on this for the Capricorns is you're working so hard, and not just to make a living, right? Just everything over this past year for a lot of the earth signs has just feel, maybe not drudgery, but, you know, we all had plans. And Capricorn is 10th house, highest potential. But the journey to develop our highest potential is no easy thing. It is a hero's journey, if ever there was one. And if we ever knew what our true highest potential was, we would run and hide. Even the great masters did that, right? They were like, yeah, Abraham in the Bible, not necessarily Abraham Hicks. So yeah, you've got everything you need to do you. I just wonder, and if you feel like commenting, I always say comment, because this could be work, but this could be relationship, this could be family stuff too. But particularly with that 9 of Pentacles, I do get the feeling this would more hit your solar plexus. For you to kind of grok is a good word, stranger in a strange land, wrap your mind around how much wisdom you actually have, that you are good. But I know us earth signs, we can have to-do lists 3 miles long, and we can be slaves to our own agendas of what we think needs to get done. Where actually you have more than the solid foundation of the 3. You got 3 of those. So a tripod of tripods holding you up. But what I really get off of that is wisdom. You have much more wisdom than you realize. And I think to take a time out, the waning moon, perfect time for that, to really feel that out. It's like, okay, well, what have I learned as the result of my experience in this situation we're looking at here? And it's a general read, but we still got 4 more cards to hit the table. The Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck. What is the healing mantra to help you with this? Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the Ascended Masters General Assembly, please, 1 card in clarity for the Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Excuse me, watching this video, receiving this, reading a little throat chakra thing there. You might very well want to make a decision that would disrupt a lot of people, and you do have the wisdom to do it. Let's see. My Ascended Masters, what is the perfect healing mantra here to help them alchemize this slave archetype? 4 blades on the inner, 9 of Pentacles on the outer, this full to new. Transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. I just had a client this week who is experiencing a lot of anxiety throughout their lives. And I said to them, well, this may not be true for everybody, but anxiety is usually unprocessed grief, which usually comes from loss. Right? What else would it come from? People, places, things, jobs, ideas. I was talking to a friend last night saying how when my career got destroyed 3 years ago, what really took me down was the death of the life that I thought I was going to have. And then it happened in a romantic relationship. It was like dark night of the soul, dark night of the soul, dark night of the soul. It's like dark year of the soul. So to transform that tragedy understands that this is part of the cycle of nature, loss and gain, ebb and flow. So this mantra, I was already through the majority of it by the time I got the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck, but I can tell you from personal experience, this one really helps. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. So if you're feeling anxiety about that, it can very easily be unprocessed grief from things in the past, obviously, that you did not process fully, because who grieves perfectly all the time? That sort of emotional baggage in the cell tissue that is clouding your vision here. So when tragedy is transformed, you see that endings foreshadow the inevitable arrival of exciting new beginnings. Winter gives way to spring. Just as an example, it may not feel good to lose the things that once defined you, which that might very well be part of this, losing an identity. You're a divine being in a human body. Identities come and go. But it is life's way of expanding your identity to invite more passion, joy, and synchronicity into your reality. As you transform tragedy, any degree of loss merely sets the stage for the arrival of greater gains. And by the way, I've read enough and watched enough Matt Kahn videos to know that he's not saying ignore your emotions on it. Right? It's like, oh, well, let's see what comes in next. Like, no, you're allowed to feel everything. In other words, just because loss is a reminder that room has been made for greater gifts to be received doesn't mean you have to like it. Oh, yay. No, you're allowed to feel everything. And I feel like that's what that Four of Swords is saying. It's like, go within, rest. It's okay to feel and think the way you're feeling about this. As you transform tragedy, any degree of loss merely sets the stage for the arrival of greater gains. This mantra is ideal for overcoming personal struggles, who ain't got those, mourning the death of a loved one, and releasing regret. Yeah, because we're all doing the best that we can. I think regret, well, it's the soul doesn't regret, the ego does, and the ego is the personality that arises out of an overstimulated nervous system. This feels like take a nice rest, because you may not be seeing yourself as clearly. You might not be seeing how valuable you are to this world. Yeah. Let's see if the party gets turned here with the Whispers of Love Oracle. because we haven't had one romantic, because there's a bunch of like romantic cards in this deck. Not one of them have come up this series. Let's see if you get it, unless this is not a romantic read. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, what is the whisper of love for the Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign? Watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing the slave archetype, 4 of blades on the inner, 9 of pentacles on the outer, transforming tragedy, this full to new October, November 2021. I told you this felt good. And I get why this one felt good too, considering it's transforming tragedy. You got new love. New love. Embrace this new opportunity of love that is here, or I would say coming, right? New moon. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth. So good for general reading, but this could be a new love in your life, a new love with a loved one, a renewal. Now that all these retrogrades are done, oh, man, did I have ex-lover flash flood this past Mercury retrograde. So, you know, this can absolutely be about work. This can absolutely be about your spiritual growth, a new love for yourself, experiencing the love of the divine. And there's no question that you are worthy of all of this. But if you are transforming tragedy in the process of doing that, take your time. You are making room for new gifts to be received, hence the new love. Do the shadow work. Ask for help. Book me for a reading or spiritual counseling. But certainly there's so much information about shadow work now, and I don't think people realize how ancient shadow work actually is. And that's a whole other conversation. I mean, going back to the great pyramids of Egypt and the ancient shamanic traditions all over the planet. I taught last night, by the way, on Facebook, Craft of the Wise, and one of the students there, I didn't know this, said that the word shaman is actually a European word. And people are like getting canceled for claiming the name shaman, and I'm like, I thought it was an indigenous people's word, and they're like, nope, it's from Europe. I was like, wow. I won't call myself a shaman. To me, that feels like cultural appropriation. I'm a witch. Because nobody claims the word witch unless they're a witch. All right, so let's find out. Divine Animals Oracle. What's the spirit animals and totems helping you, walking with you, whatever, through this shadow work? Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the pantheons of spirit animals and totems for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing the slave, 4 blades on the inner, 9 of pentacles on the outer, transforming tragedy and a new love coming in here in some way, shape, or form. Who walks with them? Who crawls with them? Who flies with them? Who swims with them to help them with this shadow work? This full to new October, November. You got the sea turtle. Hang 10, dude. Little Finding Nemo moment there. Very, very, I mean, all of these cards are gorge. I mean, all of them are gorge, darling. No gorge. Stability. Stability is the key word. Card number 8. Now I have that image in my head. Okay, focus, Mark. It's the day before full moon. Of course, your energy's a little high, and that coffee this morning was a little too strong, but I can handle it. Can't wait. Sea turtle, card number 8, stability. Operating from a stable base is advantageous, and oh my God, that's what this is. Totally. Totally. It is the 9 of Pentacles. Operating from a stable base is advantageous. If you need help and guidance, ask for it, as you are loved and supported. Delve deeply into the study of something rather than just skimming the surface, and I would say what we've talked about already is pretty much that. Look up shadow work. You can do it through psychology, through Carl Jung. You can do it through the spiritual, the soul stuff, the shamanic descent. I wouldn't go as far as say dark night of the soul, though. Although that may be part of it. Do not push hard for what you want all the time. Do you realize we're talking to a Capricorn? Instead, set an intention or direction and steadily flow towards this. Not every journey needs to be a difficult one full of drama. I'm just going to put that card over here. I would marry a Capricorn, but y'all are wicked serious. And I like that too. Committed AF. I'm just going to read the magic. This book is so chock full of info. It would take an hour to read all of it. So the magic, sea turtle magic, which is interesting. Capricorns are sea goats. Yeah. Sea turtle magic flows to us with stability and resilience. If you want something to come to fruition, but do not want to have to push very hard for it, as you perhaps have habitually done, they're reading you for filth. Ride the wave of the sea turtle magic, dude, with its ease and surety. Sea turtles travel long distances, yet they follow the currents and hitch a ride. I'm totally having like Finding Nemo flashbacks. You too can do this energetically and refuse to be pressured, like a slave archetype might. Sometimes you need to accept someone else's more stable helping hand so you can rest a little, Four of Blades, a healthy part of the lesson of turtle. Well, there you go. I mean, I think that really sums up a lot of what's on the table here. And certainly, I don't know that you get more slow and steady wins the race than a turtle or a tortoise, right? But that idea of, hey man, like, go with the flow, but by all means ask for help. That's one reason why I don't always get on with Capricorns, because they want to do it the hard way, but I honor that. I'm a Virgo. I like to figure it out for myself, but I got spirit guides. Remember the old cell phone commercial? The person had all of those, like, thousands of people behind them. I have them in front of me every day. Except not in the bathroom. I have a very clear contract about such things. Let's get you the hidden blessing here. From what? We love doing this. From the mystical Celtic blessing cards to enrich and empowered, blessed be. By who? Say it with me if you've been watching. Lucy Cavendish, we love you if you ever watch us. I don't know that was Scottish. I think that was a bit more British. Irish. I took speech classes. I was an actor when I was younger. It's all just in the subconscious. Let's see what the hidden blessing is here. Now, usually the hidden blessing comes up during or after the shadow work, especially with that new love on the table. Digging that. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the pantheon of pantheons, all traditions, all cultures, all lineages, even the off-planet stuff for those who are into that, please, one card in clarity for the Capricorn Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. What is the hidden blessing here? Just to give them a little bit of a heads up. Alchemizing this slave archetype, surrendering their power of choice to the divine with complete trust, which is not a once and done. With the deception card, the Four of Blades on the inner, their third eye, they're probably got some overwhelm going on there, their nervous system inflamed, so they need to take a rest, that they're not seeing things clearly, because from the outside looking in, Nine of Pentacles, they have that stability. Their wisdom and their worth is beyond reproach, so that they can transform tragedy, loss being their reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received, so that this new love they can embrace. this new opportunity of love that is here or coming to them. I wonder if it's already in front of them, but they can't see it with that Four of Blades. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth, but certainly could be any kind of dynamic there. Calling upon the magic of the sea turtle for the stability and go with the flow and ask for help. And it doesn't have to be, you know, so hard every single step of the way that they probably need to take a break. What is the perfect hidden blessing here so they can see it and work with it? This full to new. Blessings of the air. And the first 4 cards in this deck are the 4 elements. So this is card number 2, Blessing of the Air. Not terribly long. Let me read this for you. I'm going to do this for real, though. I don't half-ass blessings. Please, take a nice deep breath. Ground, feet on the floor. One more. Card number 2, Blessing of the Air. A blessing to allow the free-flowing movement of inspiration, fresh ideas, purposeful memories, clear thoughts, and true words this day. Beautiful soul. May you be most blessed this day by the element of air. May your thoughts and words be in harmony with each other, and may they be inspired by trust in your ability to understand deeply with the gifts of the mind all that is within you, all that is without you. 4 of Blades. May your gift of the mind be clear and open, and may worthy ideas blossom and be expressed with ease and grace in words and actions that are in affinity with the highest of your ideals. May there be knowledge that is enriching, information that is trustworthy, words that are true in your world this day. Let memories that arise be ones which support you in your task, awaken forgotten dreams, and may the qualities of your thoughts match the boundlessness of the sky. May there be freedom and perspective as you move through this cycle of the sun, and may the winds of change blow from your life whatever is best to liberate yourself from. Waning moons, definitely that's that 4 blades on the inner. Let the weightlessness of the air free you from the burdens that hold you from your dreams, like a slave archetype would have, and may the very air you breathe be pure and enlivening, awakening you to the limitlessness of your life's possibilities. May you feel inspired and refreshed, like you took a nap. Loved and loved and nurtured with every breath in and with each breath out. Release from your mind all that is no longer in alignment with who you are becoming. Let your wings grow and strengthen until you take flight. Let scent and song and soaring freedom be yours, for these are the domains of the element of air, and these are the blessings that are all about you this day. Most of all, may you fill yourself with what is good and true and pure, and may your every breath be blessed. Blessed be. This is definitely a situation where stuff going on in the third eye, not seeing things so clearly, and who the hell sees things clearly all the time? No one. Even Moses got lost in the desert for 40 years, right? Talk about a slave archetype. By the way, he didn't make it. He didn't make it to the promised land, died right outside of it. I wonder if he was a Capricorn. No, they usually make it all the way there. So that third eye is affecting your throat chakra. This is a highly spiritual read here, because I don't think you see how much wisdom that you have. It's just it's a mental thing. It's about beliefs. It's about belief patterns. So this idea of transforming tragedy, it's not that you have to like it. It's not that you're like, yay, tragedy. But to get like the digestive system and the excretory system, you really want to let stuff go before you take more in, right? And you're being prepared for something new, that you're being stabilized through this. So call upon that blessing of air. Like, if you can today, go outside, get away from people, right? Go to a mountaintop if you can, right? Mountain goat. And just breathe. And just do that shadow work of like, all right, I have no idea what I need to let go of, but let me breathe in this blessing and breathe out what no longer serves me, particularly in how you view yourself, because there is some need of rest here and some clarity without a lot of overthinking. I'm a Virgo. Good luck with that. Let me give you, well, shadow work ain't a once and done, right? It's not a Mr. Clean magic eraser. it's alchemy. Let me put let's dot the I's and cross the T's. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine to please bless this beloved Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading with all that they need. This full moon to new moon, October, November, that they are being prepared for new love, that they can embrace this new opportunity of love. This may pertain to work opportunities or spiritual growth, certainly by transforming tragedy, that they understand. Loss is their reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received, and there is stability with them. And they can go with the flow, and they can ask for help, and they can take a break to stabilize themselves, because inside there is definitely a need for mental rest. The overthinking, the seeing themselves perhaps as lesser than, which is not possible. We are divine beings in human form, playing a game of wisdom and often woe, and woe be those who see themselves as anything less than divine beings, and that's the majority of people on planet Air. So planet Earth. So with this blessing of air, the hidden blessing, to see that it was in their mind, but that doesn't make them bad. That doesn't make them sick. That doesn't make them wrong. That makes them human. That they believed some things along the way that were never true about them, because on the outer, they are stable. They are strong. They're also very independent. God bless the child that's got its own. That's got its own, so that they can really surrender their power of choice to the divine with complete trust, eventually moving into this newness, this new love, moving forward in their lives. Slow and steady wins the race, with great stability and great wisdom, knowing their value. And as they heal and grow through this shadow work, may we all be so blessed that any of that within us is also healed along with them, for the well-being of all and with harm to none. For the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So would it. And so it is. Look, I say it every time. They're shadow reads. They're not supposed to be all hearts and flowers. It's not. But if you do the work, if you do the alchemy, have the good cry, take the rest, whatever is required, you do come out transformed the other side. So if you want to go deeper on this, I do shadow work readings for people all the time. Reach out, link in the description box. You want to read my book, a one-shot deal, $9.99 USD. My book, Words of Grace, is a whole chapter on crossing the river Styx, so to speak, the underworld shadow work and all that jazz, the shamanic descent. So regardless, I really, really do wish you the very best and the very blessed of this full to new. And please do comment if you can, 1 or 2 words. What is the topic here of this? What do you feel like is enslaving you? Because it feels like slow and steady wins the race. You will be liberated. So wishing you the very best and the very blessed of all of this, my beloved sea goats. Reach out to anyone should you need help. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.